Welcome to the Explainer. What if the future of AI isn't about building bigger and bigger models, but about making them smarter and a whole lot more trustworthy? Well, that's the promise of a groundbreaking technique called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG for short.
All right, let's kick things off with a simple question. It seems easy, right? But the answer, or really how an AI gets the answer, reveals a massive weakness in even the most powerful models out there today.
So, a standard large language model might confidently tell you Jupiter, because that's what it learned way back when it was trained. But a RAG-powered model, it does something totally different. It actively goes and checks a reliable source, like NASA, to give you the real, up-to-the-minute answer, which is Saturn. And that one little example, it just perfectly highlights the two huge problems that create what we call the AI trust gap. First, you've got hallucinations. That's when the AI just confidently makes stuff up. And second, its knowledge is totally out of date. It's basically frozen in time from the day it was trained.
So, okay, how do we fix this? Well, the solution is this surprisingly elegant framework called Retrieval-Augmented Generation. And really, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like giving an AI an open book test.
So what is RAG, really? At its heart, it's a system that just stops the AI from guessing. It basically forces the model to look up the answer in a trusted knowledge base before it even tries to respond. It's the thing that connects the model to the real, live world.
Yeah, think about it like this. The AI is like this brilliant expert, but they're a little forgetful, Their memory is kind of stuck in the past. But if you give them the right textbook to look at, whether that's your company's internal documents or the live internet, boom, it can deliver the correct answer every single time.
And the process itself is this simple but super powerful three-step loop. Let's walk through it real quick. First, when you ask a question, the system retrieves the most relevant facts from its knowledge base. Step 2, it augments your original question, basically cramming those new facts in there for context. And finally, only after all of that does the AI generate an answer which is now totally grounded in verifiable facts.
Okay, but let's pause and zoom in on that first step, retrieval, because this is where the real magic is happening. I mean, how on earth does a system find the exact right paragraph in a sea of potentially millions of documents?
Well, here's the secret sauce. It's not just a keyword search like you do on Google back in the day. RAG actually understands the intent, the semantic meaning behind what you're asking. It gets the concept. It knows that if you ask for the work-from-home policy or the remote work guidelines, you're asking for the same thing.
But wait a second. How can a machine, a bunch of code, possibly understand something as human as meaning? Well, it does something incredibly clever. It translates our messy, nuanced world of language into something it understands perfectly: math.
And this process has a name. It's called creating vector embeddings. Basically, an AI model reads a piece of text and turns it into a long list of numbers. That's the vector. Just think of that list of numbers as a coordinate, like a specific point on a giant meaning map. And here's the key to the whole thing. Texts that have similar meanings end up with vectors that have very similar numbers. They're clustered together on that map. And there are two key pieces of tech that make this happen at lightning speed. First, you've got a vector database. Just imagine a super-powered library built specifically to search these numerical meanings in milliseconds. And second, there's a process called chunking, which is just a smart way of breaking down huge documents. And this is so important because it makes sure the AI gives you back a specific, helpful paragraph, not the entire 300-page employee handbook.
Okay, so now that we've peeked under the hood and seen how it works, let's talk about why this is such a game changer. What's the real-world impact of all this tech?
I mean, this comparison chart right here, it tells the whole story. Just look down the rows. A traditional LLM, it's got a knowledge cutoff, it's stuck in the past. RAG, it accesses real-time data. A standard model is prone to those scary hallucinations, right? But RAG is grounded in verifiable sources that you control. And this next one is huge. Privacy. You don't have to send your private data off to be retrained into the model. It stays safe in your own knowledge base. And finally, look at the cost. Updating a traditional model is insanely expensive, but updating a RAG system, it's fast, it's easy, and it's cheap.
So all those technical advantages we just talked about, they translate directly into these 5 huge benefits you see right here. Because the AI has live info, you get current knowledge. Because it's grounded in fact, you get contextual relevance. And, maybe most importantly, a massive reduction in hallucinations. And since you're not retraining the whole model, it's incredibly cost-effective. Put it all together, and it's a giant leap in user productivity. And hey, this isn't just theory. We're seeing this in the real world right now.
Imagine customer support bots that actually solve your problem on the first try because they're looking at the latest product guides. Or think about your internal company help desk, instantly giving any employee the correct answer about a complex HR policy, saving everybody hours of digging around. We're even seeing it in finance, with assistants that can summarize the very latest SEC filings and market reports, and get this, they even provide citations so you know exactly where the info came from.
But the story doesn't end there. This field is moving at an unbelievable speed. That retrieval step, the very heart of the system, is getting even smarter, all in the quest to find that one perfect piece of information.
So, we've talked a lot about vector search, and it's amazing for understanding the meaning behind a vague question like, my computer is acting weird. But what if you need to find something super specific, like an exact error code, GFX108, or a product model number? Well, that's where a good old-fashioned keyword search is still the king.
So what's the solution? It's this really elegant idea called hybrid search. The most advanced RAG systems today actually run both searches at the same time, a vector search for meaning and a keyword search for precision. Then they intelligently merge the results. It really gives you the best of both worlds, the broad understanding of meaning and the pinpoint accuracy of keywords.
And this really brings us to the bottom line, the core reason why this is taking off. Just look at this chart. RAG delivers a massive leap in accuracy. It can be updated incredibly fast, literally as quickly as you can add a new document. And crucially, that middle bar shows the cost to implement is dramatically lower than trying to retrain a giant model from scratch. It's not just a more powerful solution, it's a way more practical one.
Which brings us to one last big question to leave you with. Once your AI isn't just a creative toy, but a trustworthy expert that has perfect access to all of your organization's knowledge, what are you going to build with it? What's the first problem you're going to solve?